Hello everybody, my name is Hannah and this is Pepper and Pine, and I have a surprise homeschool haul to share with you today. And I mean surprise because I don't remember ordering these things. So I'm going to explain as we unpack these boxes why that is, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the things that we got, but I may not be able to tell you too much because I really cannot remember placing this order. It's all from Rainbow Resource, but there are a couple of things from A Child's Dream, some things that were supposed to be with a previous order that were delayed because they weren't in stock at the time. All right, so let me get this big box onto the floor and let's start pulling out these yummy goodies. All right, so in this box are a couple of peg dolls from A Child's Dream, and these are the ones that are pre-drilled so that you can put in a pipe cleaner as arms. And I must have ordered a certain amount. I know I got them in the previous haul, but these ones, they must have not had all of them. All right, so let me put these aside and see what else we have. All right, in here we have this drinking vessel. This is for our ancient Greeks unit, and let me show you what, oh, this is really nice. Wow, this is really nice, and I'm super excited about this. We have used this product before during our ancient Egypt unit. Wow, this is really nice. Okay, so this is a drinking vessel, and you get all of the materials that you need in order to paint this. And I love projects like this. I only got one, my doll. We can work on it together.
Yeah, but I'm doing it too, right?
Yeah. What we can do is we can do this as a project that we can all work on together. So I'm going to link the video of the project that we did by the same company for our ancient Egypt unit. It's a fantastic project, and I especially like that this one is a vase. The last one we did was a tile. So let me put this aside very carefully and let's dive into the other things. And I should mention that our ancient Greece unit is not going to be as intensive as we originally decided it to be, just because we are running out of time this school year to squeeze in all of the main lesson blocks that we had wanted to do. And let me just tell you, this is called Art and History, the brand, and they have, oh, and it's, you know, they're so complete. They even sent a dish so that you can put your paints on it for when you are doing your project. Okay, I forgot what I was going to say about that. If there was any more, I was going to say a little bit all over the place today. My son put this in the cart, and this is a catapult that is the shape of a truck, and it is not, this will be a great construction project, but this is not exactly what I thought it was. So anyway, let's put that aside. Tales of the Time of Nero. I simply cannot remember putting this in our cart, but hey, we have it. So we'll read it. All right, we also have The King's Daughter and Other Stories for Girls. I actually do remember this one. I'm really enjoying being able to bring in some literature that will work really well for my daughter. I recently got a ton of picture books on female role models, and while it works great for both little boys and little girls, and, you know, boys and girls in general, I am really excited to be able to present these to my daughter. So, The King's Daughter and Other Stories for Girls. And I'll let you know about how these books work out in the review video for each of the main lesson blocks that we do. A Wicked History, Hannibal, Rome's Worst Nightmare. And this looks like it's a pretty easy book to read. I hope that it is written in a captivating manner. The Golden Fleece and Heroes Who Lived Before Achilles. You're excited about this one? Yeah. Okay, and then we have William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar and Other Stories of Rome. We really like the audio narrations by, or, you know, the audiobooks, I guess. His original narrations, what do you call them? He's a storyteller. That's what you call him. Jim Weiss is a great storyteller, and I have to say that my oldest son was really into the Jim Weiss stories, probably more so than all the rest of my children combined, but I'm happy to reintroduce them into our homeschool. We have heard him storytell live, and it is amazing. He's just so talented. So it's really great to have the audio CDs as well. All right, so we have Secrets of Pompeii. And this is just a really simple nonfiction book that will provide information, but probably not as lively as some of the other books that we have. And then A Triumph for Flavius. And this looks like a really simple book that my son can read, or I can read to him. He'll probably read that in like 10 minutes. Ancient Civilizations of Greece and Rome. And these are the kind of books that you can really easily find from the library. And since we are purchasing a lot of these books, actually the majority of the books that we purchase for our homeschool, we do so using school funding. We're with a charter school that allows us to homeschool, and the biggest perk is that they give us a certain amount of money for each student so that we can buy educational materials. And so while this is really fantastic to have on hand, this is probably something that you can easily find at a local library, and you probably don't need to spend the money on it unless you find it like at a used bookstore for like a quarter. Then it's nice to have on hand. But I tend to buy these books and then keep them within our unit studies so that the next time we do these units, we have everything we need. And we do have an ancient Greece and an ancient Rome and an ancient Egypt unit with a ton of materials. I went ahead and just got a few extra things to add to those units. Ibn al-Haytham, this is a National Geographic kids book. I actually wasn't sure how this book was going to turn out. It looks pretty good so far, but I am purchasing more materials for our Silk Road and our I guess the Golden Age of Islam, that period of time that coordinates with the Middle Ages, and so we wanted to be able to balance out that time period with history from other parts of the world. We also have Lives of Famous Romans, and hopefully this is an interesting read. There are more books here than I could read aloud to my students, so my 11-year-old will be reading a lot of these on his own, but I'm not sure which ones yet. So when we put together this unit, I'll be explaining which books we are reading as read-alouds and which ones my son will read. And then the Aeneid for boys and girls, and we'll see how this one goes. Can't tell you much about them yet, but at least I can show you the insides, and that way you can get an idea of the age level or the grade level for these books. And this looks like maybe a good book for 5th or 6th grade for a student to read on his or her own. Children's Plutarch, Tales of the Romans, and there's kind of a funny story behind this book that's, you know, I'll let you read about it down in the description box below. But anyway, this will be to coordinate with our ancient Rome unit. So you can see there's a lot of like ancient Rome, ancient Greece, and Middle Ages material so far. And then the story of Greece. And this hopefully this is a captivating enough read that we can do it as a read aloud, and you know, everybody can participate, and that even my 6-year-old can enjoy it. Tools of Ancient Romans, and this is again one of those nonfiction books that can be a great supplement to whatever curriculum you're using, but the best part about books like this are the activities that you can do. And so there are a couple of them in here, and I really love adding as many hands-on projects to our units as possible, as well as handwork and cooking and field trips. I really feel like it rounds out the unit really nicely. And then the Silk Road, you know what? We actually already have this book. So how is it that we, you know what? That's kind of funny. I think I already have this one. So I don't know why. I can't remember why I got this one. I'm so confused. And then Food and Cooking in Ancient Greece, we actually had the same book. Oh, and I have Food and Cooking for Ancient Rome. We actually have the same one for Ancient Egypt, and we did every recipe in that Ancient Egypt book, and I have a playlist for you if you are interested in seeing them. Most of the recipes were super delicious. A couple of them we just weren't really into, but they're still good nonetheless. And so I'm super excited to be able to do this again with our ancient Greece and ancient Rome units. Now, we did already do an ancient Roman meal, and that's on my channel right now, but we took a lot of liberties with the food choices, and so I am excited to do something that's a little bit more authentic.
Can we do it again?
Absolutely, we're going to do it again. And then we have a bunch more of these You Wouldn't Want to Be books. I am aiming to do the entire series. I love these books so much. We have You Wouldn't Want to Be a Roman Gladiator. And the reason why I like these books so much, number one, the illustrations are super funny. They're really great and captivating for all ages. And you might be deceived by the silliness of these illustrations, but the content is superb. It's just the perfect amount of information. It doesn't have a lot of superfluous information, and I feel like when I'm done reading one of these books, I actually learn a lot. So I hope that that also means that my kids are learning a lot. You Wouldn't Want to Be a 19th Century Coal Miner in England. So that's kind of cool. I can't remember why I got that one because we're not doing that time period, but that's okay. And You Wouldn't Want to Be a Mammoth Hunter. Again, we're not doing this time period, but still great book. You Wouldn't Want to Be in Alexander the Great's Army. So you can see the illustrations are all really similar. And then You Wouldn't Want to Be a Slave in Ancient Greece. And of course, this is for our ancient Greece unit. And then You Wouldn't Want to Work on the Great Wall of China. And again, great content, great illustrations. I'll be able to give you a more thorough review when we get to the end of that unit, or those units. And You Wouldn't Want to Live in Pompeii. And that's it. All right, so we also have This Is London. I'm really excited about this book actually because when we were on a road trip to San Francisco, I picked up This Is San Francisco and I liked the book a lot. And the reason why we got This Is London, and I was hoping that it would arrive before we actually went to London, but we did do a family vacation over winter break, and one of those destinations was London, and now we get to relive our excursion through this book. So I'm really excited about it. So these books are really fantastic. I know they also have This Is Paris, which I'd like to add to our collection since we went there too. They're nice and large. They're hardback. I don't know if they have a paperback version. I really like the paper. It's not this pure white paper. It's kind of like a creamy paper. It's really thick and it's kind of matte, and it kind of feels like a newspaper, but it's way thicker. And it has these illustrations that are kind of vintage looking. So I really like this book. I haven't read it yet, so I'll let you know about it once we do so. And then the last book that we have is Famous. I'm just checking the box to see what else we've got in there. No, so we have kits. Okay, so the last book we have is Famous Men of Greece. And that's for our ancient Greece unit. And then we've already done this kit actually. This is an Archeology Pyramid Dig Kit, and I have a video on this on my channel as well. My 11-year-old loved this kit so much she wanted to do it again, and at the time I believe I got two kits, one for my 15-year-old, who at the time I think was 13 maybe, or 12, I can't remember actually. But I got another two kits this time because my daughter, who is 6, wants to do this one along with my 11-year-old. So we do not have an ancient Egypt unit planned. However, we have refamiliarized ourselves with some of the things from ancient Egypt, since some of the museums that we have visited recently had some really great ancient Egyptian exhibits. All right, so we have two more things. That's one more thing down in there. It's a mold. And then we have this kit here. It's a teepee kit. This last thing I want to show you, that is super cool. This is it a cast or a mold? I think it's a cast. And then you make a mold with it. I'm not sure on the terminology, but I think you put plaster of Paris in this, and then it can set, and then you just pop it out of the cast, I think, or the template, and then you can paint it. So this is a relief map of the United States. Yep. Okay, so I think that's everything. Yep.
What's this?
That's everything. That is, I'll tell you about that. That is a book.
Like, what does it say?
You wouldn't want to work on the Great Wall of China. All right, so thank you so much for joining me with this surprise homeschool haul. Some of the material looks familiar to me now that I'm opening it up. If you want to see the units that these materials go with, I have linked those videos on the screen right now. And don't forget that if you want to see what our homeschool looks like on a daily basis, you can find me on Instagram at Pepper and Pine.